The Rose Technics Star City 5 Pro. Overall build quality, shell is pretty alright. I found it quite comfortable. Nozzle isn't too big. Yeah, I didn't have any issues here. MMCX. I personally like MMCX because I get a better fit. I like how I can arrange the cable to my liking. Um, this cable, very comfortable. Extremely comfortable. Ear hooks, super soft. This cable's soft. Just gorgeous. Love it. Yeah. Well behaved, soft, nice to use. Really I just really appreciate a nice cable. I really do. It also came with pretty decent case, like one of those puck styles. It's kind of tight, but yeah. Basic set of silicone tips and a dongle. Now, we'll talk about the dongle in a bit here, but hey, they just kind of threw that in. This thing sells for around 80 bucks when I last looked. Do I think it sounds around 80 bucks? Yeah, actually, I do. How does this thing sound? Let's talk about it. The bass, the quality is actually pretty good, and it's more impactful than you might think looking at a graph. Looking at a graph, it doesn't look like that much bass, but it was surprisingly impactful. I enjoyed it. Now it's nowhere near as much as I'd normally enjoy, but it wasn't bad, and it sounds better than it looks. The mids are pretty good. You get into the upper mids, and it does that kind of cat ear thing. You know what I'm talking about? I don't mind that. It kind of provides a bit of relief there. Yeah, I don't mind it. It sometimes bites me, sometimes, but not too bad. And then the treble, pretty decent. It does have some peakiness here and there. Like, it's not overly refined, but it's enjoyable. It's exciting. The treble actually kind of reminds me a little bit, the upper treble of the Galileo. And, yeah, I mean, price-wise, it's kind of sitting in the same area. So, yeah, yeah, it's kind of in the same family, like Hexa, Galileo, this, kind of the same price area. I would say this sounds like it belongs in that price range. It's not bad. It's not bad. There's going to be some people who are going to really like this. Those who like less bass than Harman, but they like a decent bass quality and a little bit of sparkle up top. This is going to be your thing. Me personally, it's not something I would listen to on a regular day basis. Usually I prefer something a little more chill with the upper mids, but for a lot of people, this is going to be pretty great. Let's talk about the DAC. The DAC, I do appreciate that they threw it in. There are some problems with it, though. With some music that was, had some natural noise floor to it, stuff like that. It would kind of mess with it. It would cut in and out weirdly. And when I switched like my Apple dongle or something else, that noise floor just stayed constant. Like it was normal. So it's doing something weird. I'm not exactly sure what. And then there was also, I don't know if it was because it was cutting the noise floor in and out, like a noise gate kind of situation. Like it did kind of sound like almost a noise gate. And then occasionally it like would cause like this almost echo like effect to happen. So it's not overly noticeable, but if you're listening for it, you will notice it. So it's not the best dongle DAC I've ever tried. It's not the worst though. Like it, it did better than the Dusk DSP, if I'm being honest, with the same track. So, but it's still not good. Like it's not like the Apple dongle is better or any other dongle that, is pretty clean. So yeah, the dongle, nice inclusion. I can appreciate it. It helps someone get started, someone who doesn't have anything. Like, honestly, it's not horrible. It will do the job for the first, like, if you're just trying to get into the hobby and you just need something, it does the job. And for that, it's kind of cool because it's just like a one-stop shop. You get this, you're kind of set for 80 bucks. But, yeah, overall, I think it's pretty okay. I think it competes with things like the Hexa and the Galileo. The treble is, it's interesting. I would call it unrefined, but It really depends on your personal hearing when it comes to treble. Like that is super you dependent. Me personally, I did hear the occasional peak, like when I was listening to Paranoid Freak with the Trues, Paranoid Freaks, Freak. Um, at the very end of that song, I was getting a bit irritated. Like there was something happening there that I was like, "Ooh, I don't quite like that." But overall, I don't think it's a bad product. I think that the build is quite nice. I do enjoy the fit, the comfort, very comfortable. I'm sure that treble would be pretty easy to EQ once you find where it's bothering you. And the inclusions of accessories, pretty nice. I do wish the dongle DAC was just a little better, but it does the job for someone just starting out in the hobby. And for that, yeah, it's pretty decent. Pretty all right at 80 bucks. Definitely, I would say competitive with things like Hexa and Galileo. So, uh, I mean, maybe I would prefer Hexa just a little bit more tuning wise, just a little bit more, just because the treble bites me a little less. But I still think this competes, and I think there are going to be people who will like this more than they will like the Hexa. So, that's all. Yeah, if you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time.